Thank you. Until yes! You failed!
But I mentioned briefly the Extinguisher, which is probably the next big one.
Okay. I'll let you go on this one because the Extinguisher isn't my specialty.
The Extinguisher is my favorite weapon in the game, which comes as a shock to a lot of people. And I've yet to make a video about it, and I can't, like I said at the beginning of this series, I want to make a video on all the weapons and stuff like that in the game, and give my opinion, but I think the Extinguisher is probably like number one on the chopping block to be changed again, because there was a massive outcry at the last change. Let me give you a brief history of what the Extinguisher was. When it first came out, it did less damage against players, like 25, oh well, it probably doesn't happen now. It had like 25% less damage or something against less players, and 100% critical hit chance against burning players. That was it, you know? And then, actually someone reminded me last night exactly what happened. Then they brought out the degreaser. And the degreaser made it so it was really, really easy to get those extinguisher kills.
The weapon swap speed is insane.
Way too quick. So then they decided to change it up a bit. So now, or I can't remember if this is before or after the degreaser came out, but there was another change where they made it so basically the same stats, except now it would critical hit from behind and mini crit from anywhere else on burning players, which honestly, when you're swinging a melee weapon, you really aren't focusing on what side of the person you're on, except if you're a spy, but then you get faced up.
The thing with spy is like you are focusing on that backstab.
Yeah.
But playing as Pyro,
when you're a Pyro, you're flailing around like a fucking maniac.
You want to, well, I mean, you are a fucking maniac because you're a Pyro, but you just want to hit the damn bugger.
Yeah, exactly. And like it was less, you know, a reward really for swinging wildly. You know, you weren't getting that damage that you relied on.
Yeah.
You need to rely on. So, and so the big change came, the one that, you know, everyone cries about, including me. You know, I don't like it. I still use the Extinguisher because I still love it, but I don't like the change, which is, you know, of course, now there is 20%, no, 75% switch to speed, minus 25% switch to speed. So, well, you know, swap speed. And
the attack speed is less.
The attack speed is down 20. And so now it takes longer to bring out the weapon and longer to swing it. And that for a lot of people killed it. And people believe that it's completely unviable now without the degreaser.
It's made it very specific on the way you use it. Like, I mean, it feels so cumbersome to use. Because the switch to speed, it's 75%. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
And
it is a lot.
If I'm a Pyro, right?
Yeah.
If I'm running around, this thing is, I'm in close quarters if I'm a Pyro. There's no long range anything with Pyro, unless, you know, you're flare gun sniping because you're an arsehole. If I'm in a situation where, you know, I've air blasted someone against a wall to, you know, distract them, and I've got my Extinguisher or, you know, my melee weapon, I want to have that shit right in my hands. I don't want to have to, you know, see the little quick time loading bar just as I pull this.
You really have to think like 12 steps ahead to make a viable without the degreaser right now. Which I don't mind. I personally, like I say, I will always use the Extinguisher, even if it's nerfed into the ground, which people say that it already is, and you know, I kind of agree. But like, right now for me, the weapon is a lot of risk, a lot of reward. You know what I mean?
It's too much risk.
Too much risk.
It got nerfed heavily, and I think they just need to bring it back a bit.
Yeah. Look, and the thing is, right, the degreaser thing, problem is a big problem. And I've been talking about this as well, which is every weapon has a thing. You know? Like the Extinguisher's thing is that it does critical hits on burning players. Right? The degreaser's thing is that you have quicker swap speed. Everything is quicker, you know. And so I wouldn't take that away from the degreaser. But how do you make it work with the Extinguisher? Well, I don't know, man. I think the decreased swing speed is already a pretty big thing. But The switch to speed has to be changed to something else than 75%. For fuck's sake.
I think just get rid of the switch 2 speed. Maybe just keep or maybe even make that 15%.
I think like
something not as heavy as 75.
If you wanted to make it like perfect, you'd like have an additional stat that only functions with a degreaser or something like that.
But like what you would do, maybe like as far as attack speed goes, maybe just like when they balanced this Solemn Vow, because that was a straight upgrade, but then they gave it a 10% swing speed damage. If I'm using the Solemn Vow as a medic, I honestly 10% isn't a lot.
No. Well, the thing is, it's a small. Everything should be balanced. It's what they call balancing.
Yeah.
It's that the downsides balance out the good sides.
Yeah.
And so the medic's upside of that for the Solemn Vow, which gets the enemy health, not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So they thought, well, we'll give it not that big of a downside. And the reason they gave it a downside at all is because
it was a straight upgrade,
which will bring us to our next weapon, which you can probably already guess what it is, but we'll linger on the Extinguisher for just a bit longer. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man. Other than that, I don't know what else to do.
Well, the thing is,
I refuse to bring back the hitting in the back and the front.
No. Crits all the time. That's fine. That's the Extinguisher's shtick, as well as the Postal Pummeler, because that's just a skin. Honestly, I like the Postal Pummeler a lot, but sidetracking. Keep the 33% damage penalty, but keep that against. Oh no, keep that because you can normally just one-shot people with the crit anyway.
Well, yeah, anyone but like a heavy.
Anyone but like your soldier, but no random crits. That's fine because you deal critical hits when you hit someone. That's on fire.
A lot of people make the argument no random crits. It shouldn't even be a downside anymore because competitive mode they're already turned off. So there are some weapons that are pretty much direct upgrades because their only downside is no random crits.
The attack speed, maybe make that 10%.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Like
the Extinguisher is one that they've nerfed themselves into a corner, so to speak. Where with the pure existence of the degreaser, the Extinguisher is going to be a very difficult topic. And like I said, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what to do. Well,
honestly, because there's arguments of I'm going to go back to medic here because it's my shtick. I said that a lot. Using the Uber Saw compared to the Bone Saw, the swing speed, I'm just going to go with that. Honestly, I don't really notice swing speed when it's around 25%. So even just keep the minus 20% attack speed for the Extinguisher, but get rid of that goddamn switch 2 speed.
Yeah.
Like, the swing speed, I don't have a problem with because I honestly don't notice it a lot.
With the Extinguisher, experimentation.
Yeah.
Like change it like every fucking other day and just see how it goes. I guess that's the way to find the happy middle ground, I guess. But enough about the Extinguisher for the time being. Next, we're going to move on to the third degree. Now, for those of you who don't know, the third degree is the only weapon in the game that is literally a direct upgrade. Now, I'm not talking about Criticola, which, technically is a direct upgrade, because it just gives you the thing, and the downside is non-existent, virtually. But it still has a downside. The third degree literally has no downside. The stats are that if you hit... find it for me. Damage transfers to all players connected by many beams. That's it.
I wonder if that includes dispensers.
Fucking hell, man.
Because
that's an interesting. That's a really interesting thing. But anyway, and that's its only upside, and it's not a giant upside.
It's not huge, but in that situation where you come up behind a medic, and for God knows why Gaben has blessed you with a crit, you instantly kill that medic. Whoever's the heal target suffers 195 damage or some shit like that.
How many times does that happen to you?
I haven't done that a lot because there's rarely enough time behind when I get behind someone.
Aaron has a strange third degree which he loves and uses all the time.
I like the design of it, but the thing is,
refuse to use it.
Yeah, because it's at this point in time it's very risky because they might nerf the shit out of it.
It was very risky when it came out. I was expecting a nerf the next day, and here we are years later, still hasn't happened. If this does not get nerfed in the goddamn Pyro, I hate this weapon. It's bullshit, I cannot trust it. I don't want to like get into it. I don't want to use it and get like strangers and stuff just for it to be nerfed to something I might not want to use. You know, of all of these weapons, this is the one where I'm like, they got to do something. Decrease swing speed by 10%, whatever have you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like that, like, I mean, that's what I expect.
Yeah.
You know, just do it. Just do it already. Come on.
Do it.
Fuck's sake. I don't understand how, like, they changed the Solemn Vow in one update, but they just leave
Yeah,
the
they completely forgot about it.
Pisses me off.
But I mean, just a 10% swing speed, as you said, that's fine. That's all they need to do. But yeah, it just seems like a weapon that hasn't been, like, Valve's just completely forgotten about. And honestly, because they've forgotten about it, I exploit it.
You're the worst kind of person.
But it's one of those things where it's a side grade, you know? It's like, you know, you don't really pay attention to it that much unless you're in that situation where you crit a medic and, for example, the scout, his healing just obliterates. It's like, you get in that situation, it's like, huh. Right. All right, moving on. You kind of just don't notice it. So when you get that, if they do balance it, it'll, you know, if they do balance it, it's like the Solemn Vow, you know?
Exactly. It's exactly like the Solemn Vow. That's what I'm saying. I don't think anything else needs to be done.
It's a passive upgrade. It's nothing. It's nothing
have
major.
It be a downside, so it's not literally a direct. If you are using the Fire Axe / Lollychop, you are missing out. You just straight up. You know, you are literally using a weapon which is a downgrade to another one. It's like, I hate it. You know. And that's the thing. Like it damages more than you think it does. It's not just that, you know, I want to use it because it's risky, but also because it discourages play of the stock. And I like the stock. I actually really like the way the Fire Axe looks.
Oh yeah.
I don't use it at all.
No, but
no. But I'd like to again, actually. But right now, it's like I feel bad using it because I know it's ineffective.
All right.
Moving on to the next weapon, and I'm only going to do it because it's on the screen right now. The S.V.F, aka the Sharpened Volcano Fragment. Now, here's the thing about Sharpened Volcano Fragment. Now, I see a lot of people using it, and a lot of free-to-players usually using it because it's a cool-looking weapon and it has an interesting effect. And I actually like the thing. Here's the thing. What it does is, on hit, target is engulfed in flames. And it deals 20% less damage. Now, here's the thing about the Sharpened Volcano Fragment is, a lot of people, you read that out, that's pretty cool. I like the idea of having, you know, you could potentially make a set where every single one of your weapons makes people catch on fire. I like that idea, I really do. But the thing is, chances are, if you're not using a flare gun, you're at least using a flamethrower. So the whole engulfing people in flames thing is not a big drawback, because chances are you're going to be able to make someone catch in flames much easier than having to hit them with a weapon. And then after that's just less damage.
The only thing I can see it being like absolutely useful for is two things. One, medieval mode.
Yes, well, it came out in medieval mode.
Sort of, because everyone drops a medic pack and you just have to, you know, jump to the left and then a step to the right to get
I believe it was made for medieval mode, because you have the Sharpened Volcano Fragment and the Sun on the Stick, which I suppose they came out together. The Sun on the Stick is also, a lot of people say, equally as terrible, because it's basically an extinguisher for the scouts, because fucking why not? But as a result, you know, it works fairly okay in tangent with the Sun on the Stick in medieval mode, but in any other game mode, it's not.
But the other way I can see it being used is to track down spies, because you, like, you know, I mean, if they're not using the, you know,
Deadringer or
the Spicicle, if they're not using that, you know, they catch on fire. It makes it very easy to track them down.
I'm not a fan of the Spicicle.
I'm not a fan of the Spicicle.
Or the way that they've changed the Deadringer. Or the fact that now actually the Spy has resistance to all of those effects when he's invisible. Anyway, once again, this is another topic for another day. Okay, look. Here's my suggestion for the Sharpened Volcano Fragment. Right now, it's useless. You know, if you have it in, like, there's no points using it. Nothing. But I reckon there's potential for it to be comboed. So keep the target engulfed in flames thing, but on hit on already burning target, I think my suggestion is one of two things. Increases the burn timer.
Perhaps it resets it. So
Well,
like say,
it already does that, Aaron.
oh okay.
Because
yeah.
hitting someone. But no, it increases. So
Yeah.
like if they're already burning, hit them with the Sharpened Volcano Fragment, they will be burning for now double the amount of time. Or increases the burn damage. So I think it's like they take, I believe right now,
No, here we go.
six
It's 6 damage per second over 10 seconds. So it's 60 damage over 10 seconds. No, it's, yeah.
So I'd say double that.
Yeah,
From
so
6
maybe,
to 12 damage per second.
yeah. Or
Which is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But like that's the thing, right? Is like that's your trade-off. So you burn someone, then you try and smack someone with this fucking thing.
So like, if you know you can't,
Finish them off
if
there.
they're running
gonna
away,
run away,
yeah.
then yeah. Or like you can see a health pack, you may even want to get like a bit of extra damage before they get there.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's a combo weapon. Like a lot of Pyro's weapons are, a lot of them combo and work well with each other. This is the one way I think.
It's a very torturous weapon too. Like if we do it like that, you burn someone, you hit them, and you see a health pack in the distance, you just watch them burn and fall right on top of it before they can pick it up.
Well, exactly. I mean, and look, it's just a suggestion once again. Like all the suggestions we've had, they'd have to be tested in game to see if they'd actually be any good at all. But that's my suggestion for the Sharpened Volcano Fragment. And actually, no, there was another idea that you had, which was that, and well, I had a similar idea as well. I can't remember exactly what it was, but when you swing it, it like lets out like a cone of fire.
Yes, because I was thinking along the lines of its design. It's like, it's carved from, a volcano. The idea is it could be easily done by just increasing the melee range. So like, how demo men, long swords and shit like that, they've got an increased melee range. All you'd have to do is increase that. But the idea is you add an effect where when you swing it,
like there's a big flame.
like a small cone of flame goes out in front of you. So you don't necessarily have to hit someone with it, but you burn them at a short distance.
Yeah.
Not as far as a flamethrower reaches, but just enough to like catch that person running away.
Yeah. It would be interesting. It would be interesting. I think the main thing about that is, because you could argue, well, I can still use my flamethrower, is that, it wouldn't use ammo.
It would not use ammo. And it's easy as just swinging an axe,
Yeah, now I'm thinking like you'd have people just walk around swinging it as a replacement to the flamethrower.
Yeah, but then you'd add like maybe a 10%
less,
swing speed.
Yeah, swing speed.
It's
less range. And stuff.
But like that's the thing, you do it in like just a little bit further than a melee range. Just that tiny little bit that just gives you that little extra edge for using the weapon. Yeah, it might be something that
there's a lot of potential
to play with,
but they've never changed it as far as I know.
Be awesome for spy checking. You just swing it randomly and the spy just catches on fire.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Hey guys, it's Ihasnotomato. If you have any of your own ideas that you'd like to share, please leave a comment, because I'll be reading them and probably even replying to them. I try and read and reply to as many comments as I can. And also we might be doing a final bonus episode reading your guys' suggestions or things that you might like to see in the Pyro update coming up. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.